Okay, welcome to the third section of the Fracture Self devlog, and in this one we're looking at the cutscene that sets up the first person, third person reality shift theme of the game. So this is the actual storyboard that I generate the images with a bit of AI because I cannot draw like this. So the idea is that there's an operative getting onto a station and then reality kind of breaks down, and this kind of 20-second cutscene takes the operative through a few different stages of reality breakdown until it gets into gameplay. The idea is a few different shots. You can see there's a first person shot here. There's a hard kind of text shot here. Then it kind of glitches a bit and it goes onto a high angle third person, and then it kind of zooms to black and when that gets into the gameplay. So this is the actual cutscene. So now we can take a look at how this actual storyboard translated into the cutscene.
Operative, respond. Operative, respond. Respond. Operative, respond. Operative, respond. Station operative. Is experiencing a reality breakdown. Is experiencing a reality Spatial breakdown. Anomalies are occurring. Spatial anomalies are occurring. Is fracturing. Is fracturing.
Okay, let's take a look at how we put this cutscene together. So first of all, I use this asset, you can see here, this small base asset, and that's from these guys you can see in the project view. That's Creepy Cat. It's just a download from the Unity asset store. Okay, so that's the setting that I used for the cutscene, like this unknown space station kind of thing. And the main character is this character of Mixamo and Vanguard by T. Chun Young. So let's zoom in on that. So here you can see that's the character there. And what I did, created a timeline. So you can see here we've got our cutscene timeline. I've locked it here so we don't keep losing it. And I set up a couple of different camera shots. So first of all, we had this one here, the first person camera drift. And if I just drag that back there, you can see in the game view, the timeline view, that it's just an over the shoulder kind of shot there. Okay, so that's the first one. And then I had another virtual camera here, and a bit of a drift going on there, and then gets a bit glitchy here, this one there. You can see that kind of Canvas TextMesh Pro there. And going here to the next shot in the timeline, it gets to a third person high angle kind of shot, and slight kind of lens distortion as well to kind of get that feeling of reality distorting. And then go to a tracking shot here. I'll just move the timeline on. Let's go to a tracking shot here as the operative kind of moves forward. And then I got a bit of a dolly zoom, put a few kind of lens effects on there, and it just zooms in to, which is gonna, it will phase to black here. So that's the idea of the cutscene. So what we did with this animation here, that's just a Mixamo animation. You can see it's just a standard idle animation that I added to the character. If I go here, so that's just, if I click here, you can see that's just a standard, if I can maybe look at that a bit more, that's just an idle animation there. And then I click on this one, this animation, and it's kind of a wobbling animation. So it's kind of, oh, the character's in a bit of distress. So I use this wobbling animation from Mixamo. Okay, and then added another animation. I slowed it down a bit. You can see here, this is at half speed. So the character kind of walked forward quite slowly, a bit of a ponderous walk. Apparently it's called a brutal walk. That's the name of the animation in Mixamo. Again, that's what I added to the character. And then that moves on here. So having a look at the cameras again. So this camera is FP camera drift. And you can see I've got the Unity AI assistant. And what it helped me do here, for the camera drift, I added a noise profile, and it helped me generate the script for that. So it's like a first person noise profile. Then I played around with the amplitude and the frequency to get the kind of drift. You can see here you know, there's some kind of drift. So when I'm scrubbing through the timeline, it's hard to see it. But if I play,
Operative. Respond.
you can see the slight camera drift, and that is coming from here, the multi-channel.
Operative.
That's coming here from the multi-channel purling noise. So that's added there. And also, so that's similar stuff here. This glitched one here is, you can see I've upped the amplitude and upped the frequency to give it more of a glitch. And with the text, you can see you've got a bit of in-camera kind of text, so that it's well spaced, so it moves with the camera. So what I've done here, if I go to this camera here, if I can find it, it's the FP camera drift here. If I open that down, I've added a canvas to that. And again, what I'd use the Unity AI assistant to do was to help me build like a scroll view that scrolled from left to right. And it generated a script for me to do that. And you can see here, that's the actual scroll view there. If I go to viewport and the content, I've got the text. Got the text all there, so all the different things about the anomalies and all a bit of info about the log scroll view. And that's just a general canvas. You can see world space and the Cinemachine main camera. Okay, so that's how I set that up. And then moving on, I had a bit of a global volume here. So I added a global volume for some actual, I think, film grain. You had to put a film grain to try and make it a bit glitchy. And I thought I'll just turn it on and turn it off here. So I use the Cinemachine activation track. So here it's activated and here it's not activated. It's the same with the text. With the canvas, it's activated here. We can see obviously the green line is activated and here it's not. Okay, so that's what I did there with the canvas. And also of a bit here, I've got a panel. And when it fades to, I'll move on a bit. When it fades to black, if I head down here, when it fades to black, you can see here it fades to black. What I've done, I've put in a panel, just like a canvas panel. And here I've keyframed. So here, from here, this keyframe, I've set that, if I need to find the panel, which will be somewhere in one of the canvases. So I need to find that. It's somewhere in one of these here. But what I did anyway, I'm not sure what one camera I've stuck it into. It might be this one. But anyway, what I did, I keyframed it. So the first keyframe starts here. I went to record, I keyframed it and had the alpha on 0. And then if you move on here, you can see it's going to get a bit darker here. Then you can see it's going to black. And there, this one here. So that's the alpha. That's the camera kind of keyframes. And this one here, this is like that's when the alpha change starts. It generates a fade to black. So that's what I did with a bit of keyframing there. And with this dolly zoom camera, this last one here, I had a keyframe there. So I keyframed this camera. If I go onto the camera, VCam dolly zoom, I named it. If I go onto the camera there, and on this keyframe, I've got that position there. And if I scroll down, I should be able to find the actual Cinemachine follow information. So what should happen, as I move that, there should be, it's not showing up here. But what I did, I keyframed with the dolly zoom, I keyframed a setting here, and then I zoomed in here. You can see the camera zooming in there. So you can see the actual reticule going here. So I kind of zoomed that in there. So that gives a kind of dolly zoom effect. And I also created a box volume. So if I'll highlight this box volume here. With this box volume, I added some lens distortion. So some lens distortion and some motion blur. So I thought that will give that kind of reality breakdown effect and zoom into black. And then from the black, that's where you go into the gameplay. So this is kind of like the intro scene. And then, so that kind of covers the cameras. So we've got our few different cameras, and you can see where I've made things active in the timeline. Here, this text TMP, that is the canvas text. So you can see that that's where it's turned on there. And at the bottom, I've got an audio source. And what I did with that, this audio source here, I made it in an AI generator called ElevenLabs. So basically what I did, I had my text, my reality breakdown text, as you've heard in the cutscene. Then I dropped that into ElevenLabs, and I generated a voice like a space station deep kind of voice. I put some pauses in, a bit of echo, so it kind of get that space station anomaly, what's going on, reality is breaking down kind of voice. So that was the idea behind that. So I just used the credits in ElevenLabs to do that. Okay, and then the general thing about because this is quite obviously new to me, the Unity AI assistant, what I found it to be really good for is to help you do really finicky things like placing cameras. So like getting the camera in the right place, getting the right setting. But it's never perfect, to be honest. But what you can do, you can tweak it once it's set in generally the right area. You can tweak it to exactly what you want it to be. So I found it to be helpful in that area. And a couple of things when I was asking about, say the log scroll view and like Perlin noise, how to kind of generate it. If we use this bit here, the ask bit. And that will just tell you, you can literally ask it a question. It will tell you, how do I generate this Perlin noise to get this kind of this glitchy effect on the camera, and it will give you an answer. Then with that answer, you can generate that, and it doesn't take up a huge amount of credits to do that. So that is basically the setup of how I made the actual intro cutscene for the Fractured Self game. So the next kind of steps for me are going to be, building all the different environments. From this cutscene, there's, they go into the first environment, the next environment, etc., until they get to the final fourth one. So that is the intro cutscene for Fractured Self.